Hello everyone, I'm Iman, award-winning futurist designer and founder of EXXEO. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be discussing the one-off project. The project doesn't have a name right now, but we're going to pick a name pretty soon, perhaps with the help of you guys as our community members. And so today I'm going to be discussing more about the direction of this project and where we're going to go with it, whether we're going to be building a ground-up car or we're going to be repurposing an existing donor car, which I think that's the way we should go. And based on that, I'm going to be talking to you guys more about what we have in mind, and we're going to share our ideas with you, pick your brains, comments, and feedback so we can have a better understanding of what's the best use of our talents in the community for making this one-off masterpiece. Let's discuss platform. To be clear, I think for this project, because we want to finish it in a certain amount of time with a certain amount of budget, I don't think it makes sense to build up a car from like ground up. It's because chassis development, platform, and everything costs a lot of money and it takes a lot of time. Crash test, homologation, this and that, and it's just a one-off. It doesn't make sense to do that if you're just going to be building one car. At the same time, we cannot take the safety regulations lightly because this is not a concept car either. This has to be driven on the road. And since it's going to be driven most likely in California, Southern California in the United States, this has to be compliant with California rules. So the DMV, California Transportation Department, that's another thing to have in mind. So this is not a concept car project. And it's not a ground-up vehicle. We're not going to create a new brand. This is an EXXEO product. We're going to be building this with Manny Khoshbin. This is going to be custom built for him according to his taste and what he needs, because that's exactly what EXXEO does. We do high-end luxury futuristic items, including cars, furniture, jewelry items, everything. So that's an exciting project for us. So for this project, most likely we're going to go with a donor car and strip it down, 3D scan it, maybe retune the powertrain, redo the electrical, upgrade some of the electronics, and based on that, we're going to be building everything else, including the rims, interior, exterior, lighting, everything. So that's a great opportunity for us and for you guys to have this journey and make this one-up project a reality. Okay, so now let's dive deeper into the process. So like any other car design process, everything starts from doodles and napkin sketches that we just do to explore different options and forms and like aesthetics and themes for any project. But the most important thing is which one of those is going to match the inspo, the inspiration board, basically what Manny gave us. Like he wants to have some sort of a presence on the road. The car, he wants it to have like a presence, like Bugatti Royale. So that was one of the cars that we looked at and tried to digest. So we have 21 feet and the wheelbase is really massive. It's like 14 feet wide. So a car of this caliber, this is the largest car, I guess, ever been made. So it's really tough to compete with this, especially in terms of wheelbase. And as you know, classic cars, they usually had like really big rims. I mean, obviously from front view, they're narrow, but they were like really large. So I'm not sure how big we can go with the wheels on a modern car, but we try our best to be as close as possible. Maybe 23, 24-inch rims could potentially work with this project. So obviously, this car had the classic like sweeping lines of a classic car. And you have your classic C-shaped Bugatti feature, which was translated into like a 3D form later on in Veyron, Chiron, and the Tourbillon. So the presence is massive. The wheelbase is amazing. Let's see what we can do with that. The other option was looking into this Rolls-Royce round door, which is a one-off. So Manny liked it a lot because it's like a gangster car. Well, it looks like one, and it won a bunch of design competitions and a bunch of car-related competition when it was introduced. So it has classic Rolls-Royce lines, which are these. That is really amazing. And obviously, the most important feature is round door. This round feature has been carried over into other areas of the car, in the graphics, in the rim graphics, everywhere. So the rounded theme is like all over the place. So I think what we can learn from this concept is that going crazy, like round door. This is the only car I think in the world that has a round door, and this like very sweeping line, and like how they were like going down the streamline route with this design. So that's pretty amazing. The other very interesting thing that I think classic cars have in common, which gave them some sort of a more 3D, a more sculpture effect, is the way that the fenders work. So in a modern car, basically because of aerodynamics, you usually try to mimic the form of a teardrop. So basically, in a normal car, your form, if you're looking at a car from top view, is like this. So you have your windshield and you have your other stuff, and that's how the car is going to look like. Classic cars, well, obviously they didn't follow aerodynamic in the sense that we do today. So as you can see, the grille is basically recessed. It's back in. If you look like this, if you look at it from top view, the fender is like protruding out, and then it's the grille, and then there's the other fender. So that's like pretty uncommon on modern cars. And that's something that has been carried over into Rolls-Royce cars later on, I think. If I try to demonstrate here, there's a Rolls-Royce. If you see this feature here, it's really tiny, but it's exactly that. So you have this shape that's trying to mimic what the classic cars had back then. So, but overall, you have this like curvature, but you have some sort of a inward movement here and here. It's a modern interpretation of the classic proportions of the classic cars. Same thing goes with the Bugatti Royale. So one of the features that we think we might look at in terms of design is maybe we should bring those back. So we'll see. The other thing is dimensions. I guess the platform, that's really important because we want a massive car. It doesn't need to be gigantic, but we want a good presence on the road. We looked at 3 different categories of cars: limos, coupes, and convertibles. So in terms of limousines, I guess the best options out there are Rolls-Royce Phantom, the Bentley Mulsanne, Maybach long wheelbase. I'm not sure about Maserati Quattroporte because A, the engine is not, I guess, that impressive. B, quality is not there. And C, Maserati is not in a good place right now technologically. And I don't think it's going to be as timeless. Same goes with this one because it's basically a hyped up S-Class. So Maybach right now, I don't think that's the best option. But in general, I don't think limousine is the way that Manny wants to go because it's like a 4-door car. He doesn't want to be chauffeured around. He's the kind of guy that he drives his cars and he enjoys them. So I think a car that needs to be driven is a better option for him. So that will give us options of coupes and convertibles. So the best coupes out there, I think, are the Bentley Continental GT cars. We could look at the Mercedes S-Class coupe as well, but this is discontinued. The V12 AMG version was a beast. So we have the Wraith, based on Ghost platform. We got, again, Maserati Quattroporte. I don't think it's there because it's got only 6 cylinders. I'm not sold on that. A one-off needs to have a massive engine. And then we have Spectre, which is totally electric, and we got the Rolls-Royce Phantom Coupe. Spectre, I guess Manny had one. He drove it. He didn't like it. So electric is gone, although that's a good platform. And then we have convertibles. So on the convertible side, obviously we have the, again, Continental GT. We have Dawn, S-Class Cabriolet, and Drophead. So I would say if I were to pick between these 4 in terms of cabriolets, I would go between these two. They're more special cars. They have better, I guess, and it doesn't share any parts. Let's say this guy, the Continental GT, it's sharing an engine with AMG. The other one, the W12, you can find it like pretty much anywhere. So it's not that special, but these guys are a little bit better. Obviously, this one used to share some parts with BMW 7 Series, but the Drophead is a more special car, and Manny drives one for 14 years, and he's loving it. And S-Class Cabriolet, again, not special enough, and I don't think that's the right way to do this project. So in general, between coupes and convertibles, there is a big, massive departure. So if we go more like coupe, it's going to be more like GT. And if we do the convertible, it's going to be more like a land yacht, a car that's going to be driven for leisure. So I think this fits better with the concept of the entire project. But I'm not 100% sold on the idea of convertible, neither does Manny. So we need to look into this. So let's look at these. So we have the Rolls-Royce Drophead here versus the Dawn. This is an actual 4-seater car. So it's a very rare thing in the convertible world. The thing is, it's a smaller car than Drophead. So if we want to achieve that 21 feet length and even beat that, I think we have a much easier life dealing with this platform rather than that platform. So it's giving us a few feet more, and it's like a larger car. And if you look at here closely, there is not much room here. It's got a more sporty feel. One of the ways, according to Giorgetto Giugiaro, one of the ways that you can differentiate a sports car from a sedan and an SUV is this distance. So the shorter the distance, the sportier the car gets. When it's like larger like this, it's more like SUV-ish or more luxury or more sedan. So since this project is not about a sports car, and this has kind of sports luxury proportion, I'm not sold on this. Especially, it doesn't give us that massive wheelbase that this one has. I think it's around 10.89, close to 11 feet wheelbase, and this is already 18 feet. So we have only 3 more feet to go. For example, if we want to extend the back end with whatever shape and a little bit in the front end, we can easily beat the Bugatti Royale. So it could be one of the largest cars on the road. But structure-wise, there are some stuff that we need to think about. For example, let's say, hypothetically, we're picking this platform, although it's a very old platform. It's been around for like maybe 14, 15 years or so, even more. It comes in 2 variations. So we have the coupe, we have the convertible. So which one's the best? I think for this project, since we're going to strip down the entire structure, and we want this to be homologated, one of the areas that we can play with in the design is this section. So basically, you can create a car that feels like very aerodynamic, or like create a car that feels like very sporty. Everything comes down to the C-pillar and how it's going to look like. So if you have a coupe that has this form, which is pretty solid and looks very chic, cutting this down and repurposing the roof and the structure and everything else is a much more complicated task to do it properly, rather than just going with the convertible, you know? And you have a lot of freedom to do whatever you want to do. I'm sure we're going to get rid of the backseat with any platform we're going to choose. So it's going to be a 2-seater, a huge car. But I think it's going to make our lives a lot easier dealing with the structure and homologation if we go with a convertible platform. No matter what, Even if you want to create a coupe, it's better to do it with a convertible platform. So that's my take on it. Please share your comments. Maybe you disagree. If you have an engineering background or you have some structural background, you can comment on this. So basically what I'm thinking about is perhaps if we want to achieve royale proportions, I think this could be the car to work with in general, so we can design something really unique. Let me know what you think. This is our first series of videos discussing this project and where it's going to go in detail. We record these videos for our community so we can discuss design-related stuff, engineering, and pick up your brains about it and try to communicate on Discord and engage you guys more with the project. So leave us your comments, and we're very glad to have you on board with our community. Thank you.